There is no failing at yoga, just falling into grace like in Fallen Angel or the Fallen Star posture. Day number 76.
Namaste, yogis.
It's Goga, kinda like yoga. 2 years in the game, 78 postures later, it is clear hip openers are the big boys or girls in yoga. From sitting ones, lunges, squats, goddesses, hamstring stretchers, including the inversions. With this foundation, I'm convinced that we are ready to take a 90-day journey towards the mother of them all. They call it Hanumasana, monkey, or as most of you know it, the splits. Enjoy the ride. So find your way on your mat, Namaste Yogis, and then come into sitting and then lie on your back. Bring the soles of your feet to touch, right hand on your belly, left hand on your chest. Inhale in through the nose, exhale through the nose. Breathing in, breathing out. One more deep breath in. Exhale, draw your knees together towards each other, and then hug your knees to your chest, rock up, and find your way into sitting. Easy sit cross-legged. So take an easy sit Sukhasana, hands on your knees, inhaling and exhaling. Give your side view here. Inhale, lift your hands up, drape your arms down, bring them down towards the ground. Feeling that nice stretch on the back muscles as you try to find a forward fold here. You can even deepen this posture if possible, trying to draw your head towards the floor, breathing in and out, just to be able to stretch the back, the shoulder sockets, and also your hips here, so they're trying to put the weight of the torso, and you can keep going as far as possible. Walk your hands back towards the center, coming back onto seated position, and then sweep your legs towards one side, come onto tabletop position. Now inhale, open your chest into cow, and then with an exhale, pull your belly in, round your back into cat, like an angry cat. Pulling your chin towards your chest. Inhale, broaden your shoulders, opening your chest towards the front, and with an exhale, pull your belly in, rounding your back like an angry cat. So you can already see the anatomy of my body here. As I open the chest, the belly drops down on the ground, feeling that stretch. And as I pull the belly in, I'm rounding the back completely. So you can see all the back muscles here and how they are moving in. Inhale, open the chest once again. Exhale, round your back like an angry cat. Come back to a neutral spine, and then take puppy dog pose. So keep your hips above your knees, and then just slide your hands forward, melting your chest towards the earth. You can bring your forehead down on the ground, or you can even deepen the stretch by bringing your chin down on the ground, and feel that nice juicy stretch on the spine. And you can even adjust accordingly, trying to get that nice alignment of the hips, and then melt your chest towards the ground. If it's too much, you can just bring your forehead down on the ground and just keep stretching those hands completely forward. This is a very good posture for opening the shoulders. And then you can even turn your palms to face up, just to be able to deepen that stretch. I'm just going to stay with my forehead down, and then gently come back to tabletop, keeping your shoulders above the wrists. Tuck your toes under, take downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling, gazing towards your belly or the space between your feet. Melting the chest even more, pushing the floor away from you, trying to get that bit of arm strength going on there. Inhale once again and exhale. Sweep your right leg up towards the ceiling, coming into three-legged dog, and then on the exhale, see whether you can extend the leg towards your left wrist, and then see that you can lift your right hand up, left hand up, and come into fallen star. Bring yourself down, lift up, and then trying to stack the shoulders on the same line. Inhale, lift up, and then stay here. Bring your hands down, take downward facing dog, bend that knee, feel that nice stretch of the hip, and then when you are ready, so that you can gently release that leg down towards the ground from three-legged dog. Good. And then bring that leg between your hands, coming into low lunge. So sweep your hands up above your head. With your right hand, so that you can grab your left wrist and take sundial. So you're leaning towards the right side, feeling that nice stretch on the entire left side of the body. Come back into high lunge here, palms facing each other, back foot on toes, open into warrior 2, gazing towards your right middle finger, and then take peaceful warrior, taking your left hand back, right hand up, keep bending to the front knee, feeling that nice side stretch. Windmill your hands down onto the ground, coming to plank, elbows bent into chaturanga. Stay here for a bit, opening your chest into upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Now left leg flies up towards the sky, and then bring that knee to your right elbow and take fallen triangle. Use the strength of your hips to lift up, stacking the shoulders on top of each other. Bring yourself down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down. We do this about 3 times. Use the strength of your hips to lift up and your pelvis. Come down once again. Lift up and stay here. Hands down on the ground. Take three-legged dog once again. Bend your knee, taking scorpion down dog. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling that nice stretch on this left hip. Lift that leg up. You can either lower it down or bring it between your hands and come into low lunge. So dropping your right knee down, sweep your hands up above. With your left hand, grab your right wrist and then start leaning towards the left side. Sundial pose, feeling that nice side stretch on the right side of the body. Come into high lunge once again, open into warrior 2, gazing towards your left middle finger. Reverse the warrior, take your right hand back, lift your left hand up, feeling that nice side stretch on the body. And then on the exhale, see that you can spiral your arms down, come into chaturanga, elbows bent, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Bend your knees, walk, step, or jump to your hands, coming into halfway lift. Exhale so that you can bow forward, bringing your head down on the ground. Inhale, so that you can circle sweep your arms to the sky, extended mountain pose. Exhale, dive forward, yogis. And then from here, take halfway lift, flat back, and then so that you can separate your feet hip distance, and then bring your hands behind your ears, coming into halfway lift, and then so that you can bow forward. Feeling that nice stretch on the hamstring muscles as you keep pushing the upper body more towards the thighs. And then keep pushing your head even slightly more towards the ground, feeling that nice deep stretch. Release your hands down on the ground. Toe heel your feet to touch. Come into chair pose. Bend your knees, sweep your hands up above your head, palms facing each other, opening the chest. Bring your palms to touch. Tuck your tailbone in so that you can lengthen your spine so you're not sticking your bum out. Bring your hands to your prayer. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale so that you can take revolved chair twist. So you bring your left elbow on your right knee. Keep pressing your palms as you find your revolved chair, and then twist and gaze up towards the sky, breathing in and out. Seeing the way shoulders are stacked on top of each other as you keep pressing those hands away from each other, and you're finding a twist of the upper body here. The legs are getting the brunt of the bun. Gently release, press your hands down, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale so that you can take pyramid pose. So take your left leg behind, creating a slight distance between your feet. You can use blocks, otherwise you can press your hands down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. So your legs are creating that nice pyramid shape. Breathing in and out. Stay here for about 60 seconds or so. Inhaling and exhaling. Bowing forward even more. Digging deeper into the posture. You can even grab the back foot. Bring your fingers down on the ground. See what works for you. And then so that you can bend your knee, come into full split. So take your right leg forward, slide your left leg towards the back. So I'm bringing the split earlier on in this practice just for us to see where we are without proper warm-up. And then keep sliding the front knee towards the front, the back knee towards the back. Try to keep the upper body. Then gently ease out of the Hanuman or the full split. Bringing your hands to the mat, come into plank, bend your elbows, chaturanga, upward facing dog, open the chest, lift up, and then downward facing dog, take your chest towards the thighs. Bend your knees slightly if it's too much, otherwise fly to the top of the mat, coming to halfway, and then exhale, bow forward. Now inhale, circle, sweep your hands up towards the sky, maybe find a back bend, exhale, bow forward. Then from here, bring your hands behind your ears and then come into halfway so that you can bow forward even more, melting your chest towards the thighs, feeling that nice deep stretch, inhaling and exhaling. Very good posture just to be able to stretch the hamstrings, find a bit of mobility. Drop your hands towards the ground, find your way into chair pose, sweeping your hands up above the sky, pulling your belly in instead of sticking your butt out. Inhale, bring your palms to touch maybe, bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, lift up towards your chest so that you can take revolved chair. So right elbow on your left thigh, keep pressing the palms against each other, and then you twist more towards the back. So you can see my shoulders are still stacked on top of each other, and then gaze up. You can even sink a little bit lower if possible so that you can get your bum to be at the same level as your knees, and then keep sinking even a little bit lower as you find a twist. Revolve chair twist, and then gently release your hands down onto the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, have a flat back here. Exhale, so that you can take your right leg back, coming into pyramid pose on this opposite side. So inhale, halfway lift, left leg is forward. Exhale, bow forward. Feel that nice juicy stretch on the hamstrings, the legs, as you bow forward. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bow completely, surrendering to the front knee. Keep bringing your chest even more towards the thighs. And then from here, drop your right knee down on the ground. Come into Hanuman, or the full split. So you take your left leg into half split. And then when you're ready, you can slide your back knee, coming into the full split on the left side. The left side is really cooperating today in this split challenge. I'm even shocked. It has always been my most problematic side. But the fact that I can keep the upper body at the center, this is good. We'll come back to this again. Release the posture so that you can press your palms down, come into plank, take chaturanga, bending those elbows. Upward facing dog, open the chest, and then downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Bend your knees, find your way to the top of the mat, walk, step or jump, come into halfway lift, exhale, bow forward. Woof. Inhale, sweep your hands up, extended mountain pose, palms touch. Exhale, dive forward, yogi. And then so that you can separate your feet hip distance apart, and then so that you can slide your palms under your feet, coming into gorilla pose. So make sure your toes can literally graze above your wrist, and then so that you can inhale halfway, and then bend your elbows outwards, melting your chest more towards the thighs as you bend the elbows outwards in gorilla pose. You could even challenge yourself and so that you can lift either of the heels off the ground. Release the posture, and then from here, so that you can crisscross your legs. So take the left leg and crisscross it behind the right, bringing the pinky toes to touch. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale so that you can bow forward even more, feeling that nice deep stretch. Inhaling, exhaling. And cross the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, and then come back into chair pose once again, lifting both hands alongside the ears. And then so that you can bring your hands behind your ears, and then bring your hands to your center, then take a twist revolved chair. So you bring your left elbow on your right knee, and then keep twisting, stacking the arms on top of each other. And then maybe you can even try and bring your hands down on the ground, and so that you can come into side crow. If side crow is easy, you can come into fallen angel posture, one of the most graceful postures in yoga out there. Otherwise, just stay with your twisted or revolved chair pose. Now release your hands down on the ground, slowly rise up, coming into standing, and then from here, bow forward. And then from here, you're going to come into halfway lift once again. Take your feet out as wide as possible. Straddle as wide as possible, pressing your hands down on the ground. And then so that you can bring your crown chakra, or the crown of the head, down on the ground. And then maybe you can even release your forearms down here, feeling that nice deep stretch of the hamstrings, Then so that you can press your hands down on the ground, sweep your hands up into star pose, and then so that you can turn your left leg forward, shorten the distance with your right leg, coming into pyramid. Exhale, bow forward, feeling that nice pyramid stretch on your legs. Inhaling, exhaling. Breathing in and out. Inhale. Now we're going to find a twist here. So press your right hand down, lift your left hand up, and find twisted pyramid posture. If you want to deepen, you can take the right hand outside your left foot. Otherwise, just stay here, trying to stack the shoulders on top of each other in the twisted pyramid pose. Inhaling, gazing up towards the lifted thumb. Exhaling. You can even gaze forward if it's too much on your neck. Exhale. Then hands down to the ground so that you can drop your right knee down. And then from here, bring your hands to your heart center. Take a twist, revolved lunge twist. So right elbow on your left knee. Maybe lift the back foot off the ground and find revolved crescent twist. Again, shoulders stacked on top of each other, looking up. Release your hands down on the ground. And then find full splits again on the left side. So you keep sliding the back knee. Find that split on the entire left side of the body. So I can see the distance between my groin and the floor still needs a bit of work. Release the splits. We'll work on this. We have 14 more days to go in this challenge. We'll figure it out. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Lift your chest up. And downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Bend your knees. Fly to your hands. Come into halfway lift, flat back. And then with an exhale, bow forward. Now sweep your hands up overhead. Circle sweep your hands up overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Now from here, same thing. You're going to separate your feet distance apart. And then with your 2 peace fingers, grab your big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. With the exhale, so that you can open your elbows outwards, melting your torso towards the thighs as you open the elbows out. And then gently release. Walk your feet back together. And then from here, crisscross the legs. So you take your right leg, crisscross it on the left, bring your pinky toes to touch. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, bow forward, bringing your head down towards the ground. Stay here for a couple of seconds, breathing in and out, feeling that nice hamstring stretch on the entirety of the right leg. And then gently release, unwind, and crisscross the legs. Find your way into chair pose, taking those hands above your head. Inhaling. Exhaling. Hands to your heart center. Find revolved chair. So right elbow, left thigh. And keep finding that twist. Looking up. Release your hands down. You can come into side scroll. And see if they can even find splits. Side splits. And then come back. Release. Halfway lift, flat back. And then see whether you can straddle as wide as possible. We are going to do the same thing. So sweep your hands up overhead. Exhale, bow forward, and so that you can bring the head down on the ground. So it's the same thing that we just did earlier. Oof. And now see that you can stretch your hands forward. Hey, how you doing? I'm waving at you here. Breathing in and breathing out, supporting the entire weight of your body on the crown of the head. Then gently lift halfway. Start walking your feet slightly in. Sweep your hands up overhead. And so that you can turn your left leg forward, bringing your hands down on the ground, shorten the distance, and come into pyramid pose on this side. Stay here, inhaling, exhaling, bowing on top of that left knee. Inhaling once again and exhaling. And then from here, see whether you can take, what was you supposed to do? Twisted pyramid, right? You were supposed to do twisted pyramid. So you can either do twisted pyramid here, otherwise come into normal pyramid, taking your right leg forward. And then you can even support yourself using a block and then find a twist. So left hand down, right hand up, twisted pyramid posture. Inhaling and exhaling. Bring your hands down on the ground, and then from here drop your left knee down, and so that you can bring your hands to your hand center, find a revolved twist. Now stay here for a bit. Once you have your alignment, lift your back knee off the ground and come into revolved crescent twist. Keep gazing up towards the right elbow as you find your twist. And then find Hanuman, or the full split on this side. So you take your right leg into half split and then keep sliding the left leg towards the back, trying to bring your groin down towards the ground. I'm just going to adjust here for a bit so that the back leg is fully using the slidey mat, just be able to release. So the right side is still very impressive when it comes to the split on day number 76. Hands down the ground, bend your elbows into Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Oof. Stay here for a moment. Then from here, we're going to bring our left leg outside our left hand, and then we are going to come into lizard, or the dragon tail posture. Feel free to use blocks to support your forearms. And just stay here, inhaling and exhaling. And if the blocks are too much, you can just release them down and bring your entire forearms. Stay with the back knee off the ground for the first few seconds. And then when you're ready, you can drop that knee down. And then keep melting into the ground, trying to make sure that the left elbow is pressing the ground at this point, so it is stable on the ground. And I'm resting my head on these blocks, just be able to find that bit of a back stretch here. Press your palms down, lift your back knee off the ground here, and then lift up. You can drop the knee again. Feel free to adjust that leg. Corkscrew pose. So bend the right knee and see whether you can, let me use the block here to cushion the knee. Sometimes this floor is too hard. So bend that knee, and then with your right hand grab the ankle, and then so that you can find a twist. Gaze up towards your right shoulder or the sky as you find this twist. So it's a very good quad stretch, by the way. So stay here with the right leg, hand grabbing the foot. Others say you can take the left hand and grab the ankle from there and then find a twist here. This is also a very good twist on the back. Also on the shoulders here, you're giving the spine a very nice twist here. Remember, the spine is S-shaped, so you can even see from my upper back that you can see how the spine is twisting just based by looking at my back here. Keep pulling that heel towards your glute, and then gently release the posture. Take downward facing dog. You can walk one leg at a time, just be able to ease. Left leg flies up once again. Release it down on the ground. Now what you do on the left probably applies to the right now. So bring your right leg outside your right palm. Stay here, gazing forward into lizard pose. You can either choose to stay here, otherwise you can bring your forearms down, and then you can drop your back knee on the ground. Stay with that sensation that you're feeling now on the right hip flexor and your groin area. You can see the shape it is creating. We probably saw this yesterday when you were doing the kneeling lunge pulses, and that is very important because the kneeling lunge pulses have actually gotten us to this point where we're able to get such a deep stretch when you come into the into the dragon tail or the lizard pose, or the runner's lunge as some people call it. So stay here for like your 6 to 10 breaths, feeling the stretch. Otherwise, you can stay with your forearms down on the ground and just rest your head on the block. Press your palms down on the ground. Prepare for the corkscrew pose, so you bend your left knee so that you can grab it with your left hand. Find a twist here for a bit. It's on the same side. And then now when you're ready, you can grab it with your right hand. So I'm going to cushion that knee here because it's too much on my knee. And then I pull that heel towards my glute. And then I twist, I look towards my right shoulder. Stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep twisting and reaching. 4. Feeling that nice quad stretch. 3. One more set of breaths. 2 and 1. So gently, so that you can ease out of this corkscrew pose when you are ready, and then press your hands down on the ground. Now drop your knees down on the ground and then lift up into downward facing dog for a minute. And then when you're ready, so that you can drop your knees down on the mat and then find your way into sitting and then lie on your back. Now draw both knees towards your chest, squeeze your knees tightly towards your chest, open your hands out like a T, drop your knees towards the left side, feel that nice spine twist. As you take the knees towards the left, you can see it on the back. There's a whole line there giving me that bit of a twist and some crinkles there on my back. Come back to center, drop the knees towards the right, gazing towards the left shoulder in a twisted position here. Come back to center, stretch both legs forward, palms facing up. Take one last deep breath in through the nose. Exhale and take Shavasana, deep rest. So take this Shavasana, taking stock of your practice on day number 76. Relax everything on the ground for about a minute. Then gently start to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, turn your head right to left, bring your feet to touch. Give yourself a nice morning stretch, stretch. And then when you're ready, draw both knees towards your chest. After this stretch, just be able to see whether you can get out of this posture. Rock up and come into sitting. Take an easy sit position. We seal our practice with 3 deep breaths. So hands to your heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you so much. I will see you on day number 77. Have a lovely weekend.